let's take a look at this. It starts with the question, when does it refer to? So here it refers to these three times: past, present, or future. There are three times. Here we have times. When does it refer to? It's not at all about the tense, but the time of the action. So when it goes to the past, we have this question: is the time mentioned the time of the action or the time of the state? If the time is not mentioned, did it continue until now? Yes. So use present perfect continuous. It refers to the past. Time is not mentioned, and it continued until now. I have been teaching English. Something started in the past, continued until now. If did it continue until now? If not, use present perfect simple. I have seen this movie before. I have read this book. When in the past is the time mentioned? No. So we keep it simple. All right? Clear? Then we have, is the time mentioned? Yes. Is it before or at the time mentioned? It's before. Here. Is it before or at the time mentioned? Before. Is it continued? Yes. Use past perfect continuous. So, past, last week, before last week. I had been working on my IELTS course by the end of the weekend. So it's something that refers to the past. It started in the past, finished before the time mentioned, and it was continued. Or is it continued? No. Use past perfect simple. I had seen the movie before you mentioned it. I had started the class before they arrived. I had arrived home by the time my parents called me. All right? Then, is it before or at the time? It's at the time. Is it in progress? Yes. Use past continuous. Yesterday at 9 a.m. So it's at the time, and it is in progress. Yesterday at 9 a.m., I was working on this part. Yesterday, or 10 years ago, on Sunday, the 21st of January, I was teaching the same subject. So it's a time in the past, and we're talking about the time itself, about something in progress. So we use past continuous. Or it's not in progress. We use past simple. Last night at 8, I started my class. So at 8, and I started my class. Or when I was a kid, I did this. So it's at the time of when I was a kid, I did this. When I went to high school, I had already read several lessons, past perfect simple. When I went to high school is the time, it's in the past. Now the action I want to say is before the time mentioned, so I go with past perfect. Or if it is at the time mentioned, I go with past simple. Clear so far? Then we go with no, present perfect continuous and present perfect simple. We talked about this. Then we have the present time. When does it refer to? Present. Is it a habit or fact or scheduled? If so, use present simple. Iran is a big country. It's a fact. I am a teacher. Fact. I go to work early in the morning? Habit. The class starts at 10. Scheduled. So these are some examples of present simple. Is it in progress now? Then use present continuous. We are discussing tenses. I am using this PDF I made 4 years ago. Is it a long-term action? Then use present simple. I live in Esfahan. That's a long-term action. I'm not planning on changing it. I work as a teacher. It's a long-term action. Is it a temporary action? Is it short-termed? Then use present continuous. I'm living in Esfahan. Not forever. I'm working as a teacher. Not forever. Point. Present simple versus present continuous. We go with this example. We want to describe somebody. Let's say you want to describe me. There are some adjectives. Say, for instance, mean. Nice. What else?
Clever.
Clever. Bad-tempered. Now, if I say Matthew is mean, it's a long-term feature. He is mean, always. If I say Matthew is being mean, it's a temporary feature. He's not usually mean, but now he is being mean. Or we say he is nice, means he's usually nice. He's being nice. Something smells fishy, yeah. Something is wrong. He's being nice. So something has happened. All right? It's clever. He's being clever. When we say he's being clever, it means he's not clever. He's being clever. Or when we say he's being bad-tempered, he's not bad-tempered, but now, there's something annoying him. So, features, descriptions of people. Point 2. There are some verbs that we generally don't use in the continuous form. For instance, have, as in to possess. I have a car. That's a long-term possession. I'm having a problem now. It's not a problem that I've had before. I'm having connection problems. I'm having a headache. I'm feeling good. I'm enjoying the game. So, temporary. All right? Very well. Then we go with the future. We go with the future. Is the time mentioned? Yes. Normally we say in the future. It is implied. Sometimes it is directly mentioned, but some other times it is implied. It is suggested. Then we have, does it happen after the time mentioned? Then use simple future. Next week, I will go do this. So next week and then after next week. On Friday, I will do this. So it's on Friday and afterwards. So use simple future. Does it happen at the time mentioned? At the time mentioned, yes. Is it in progress? Yes. Use future continuous. Tomorrow at this time, I will be teaching pronunciation. So at the time mentioned, in progress. Or is it in progress? No. Use future simple. Tomorrow at this time, I will see you. So it's not in progress. I will see you. Does it happen before the time mentioned? Is it to be finished by then? Is it something that will be finished before a time mentioned in the future? Use future perfect simple. By this time next week, we will have finished the book. By this time next year, I will have lost 10 kilos. By this time, or by the end of today, I will have sent you the file. So it is to be finished before a particular time in the future. All right? Is it to be finished by then? No. Use future perfect continuous. By the end of the year, I will have been teaching English for 11 years. And it will continue. All right?
So we use future perfect.
Continuous. When we want to describe something which will be continued until a particular time in the future and beyond. Something that I try to imply and clarify in this tree is that all these tenses are used in reference to the time that we want to. So I want to talk about an experience. I have several choices. If I don't mention the time, I've done this. If I want to suggest it's been continuous, I've been doing this. If I want to mention the time, I did this. If I want to mention the time, in the past, or if I want to mention if I did it before anything else, I had done this. It depends it all depends on your purpose. Like I want to talk about my experiences and I want to say, yeah, I'm cool. Yeah, I've done this before. Or if I want to say, I'm even cooler, I had done this before it was a thing. What does it mean? Before it was a thing? Before it was mud. Before it was a thing. Oh, yeah. I had been listening to rock before it was a thing. So I want to say that, yeah, I'm badass. So I had been doing it before it was a thing. So depending on what purpose I want to have, or I do have, the tense I use is different. All right? And then we have present simple or present continuous one. It's not just what I do regularly or what I, am doing right now. It's also whether it's long term or short term, whether I want to suggest that it is always like this, or no, it's just temporary. And the same goes for the future. I want to talk about my plans. Well, in the future, I will do this, I will do that. It's the simplest form of plan that we could share, we could describe. Then we could go with, I will have done it before a particular time. I'm starting it now, and I will have been doing it until the end of the year. So depending on the purpose and the function that we want to use it for.
What's the future?
It's your intention. Future perfect continuous is usually used. It's usually used. There are two types of practices: form, meaning. When it comes to meaning, it's mostly personal. When it comes to form, it's just for form, for learning to use will, have, been, and gerund. So putting all these verbs together, this is the form of the practice. So yeah, sometimes we don't know if it will have been continuing until then. But sometimes, if it is personal, we could. All right? Any questions? Was it helpful?
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's always a good question. All right. Now let's get back to the map.